my sound. You know I'm popular.
Let me see. This is actually nice. Now I can see the screen a little bit. See what I can change real quick.
Make sure my posture good.
The only one I can't see is Shamar.
Yeah, his posture pretty bad. Alright. You guys ready?
Yeah. Welcome back. Episode 003. 003. This is actually, our fourth episode? It's been a while. I feel like we haven't sat down and talked in like 3 weeks.
We haven't because the Army hates me. And they said, man, you got to work 18-hour days for like 12 days straight. Good luck.
I felt that.
So, do you want to start off with...
let's get into some updates, man. You can see that we changed the format a little bit, trying something a little different. We got some cameras and some lights set up differently. Now you can see us sitting across the entire table. Still need 2 cameras though, because
why?
I don't know why. It just when I was setting it up, I was trying to get the entire table in one view, but I would have to have the camera all the way back there, like to the patio.
And
almost.
I don't want y'all to see my living room. It's none of y'all business.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I got to work it out. I could have probably put it on the light and had the light shining in,
and
then with one camera, so that way it's like full screen. Because if you ever watch, like on mobile, it's one thing, but if you ever watch it on a computer screen, the video itself is actually tiny with a lot of empty space.
Yeah.
Like just how it looks on the computer, that's how it looks on video too. And it's because we're using 2 video cameras. The cameras are in HD, but the picture itself is very tiny.
Raw dogging his phone. That's crazy. This man got a raw dog phone right here. He said, man.
But you actually do have to speak up though in order for people to hear you.
My case is coming from China,
Here's the thing. I didn't mean to say it out loud. That thing vibrated, and I'm like, yo, this thing is vibrating on his lens. He said, you know what? Forget the fact that it's $1,000.
It's protected though, because it's not like faulty like an iPhone.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's actually meant to be,
Y'all are childish.
This is real shit. Like,
it actually is. It's very nice though. Where'd you get that from?
What
was that? What was that?
Where'd you get that?
It's that Ultra. That's right.
It's that S20.
Wow.
You might as well just call it Plus Ultra because that's what it is right
exactly,
now.
Bro. I had to hop off that weak iPhone, bro.
Wow, got it.
Your phone got an Apple on the back, lacking.
Meanwhile, the phone got the vid on it because this man got his phone raw dogging out here in the open.
Hey, man,
crazy.
Live dangerous and don't live at all.
But I guess we can expect the hate from people with tiny phones.
Listen,
exactly,
you know what I'm saying? Tiny hands require
No,
tiny
but
phones, so
we don't phone
that's
like
what it
this,
is.
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I got little hands.
I mean, it's just the perfect size.
Exactly.
Perfect size.
Facts on facts.
How often do you lose your phone? Like,
Exactly,
I can't
bro.
find it. Can you ring it?
I never. I just be like, yo, Siri, where you at?
Period.
Man.
Okay.
Man, so let's talk about some updates, man. What else happened? We changed the format on the presentation of the podcast.
I'm still tired.
Update on the logo. I got a friend of mine that reached out. He's an artist. He's actually a talented artist. He's been supporting me for a few years now, doing taxes. So it's like, you know what, we need a logo. And I decided I'm not gonna let the enemy of progress stop me any longer.
That's me.
So I reached out to him. He's making it, and he said he'll have something for me next week. Him and I spoke, trying to just brainstorm what's gonna look like. I didn't want the name to confuse people. You know what I'm saying? And when you think of a black podcast and blood don't, the word blood in it, you automatically signify red, and you automatically think of a power fist.
Big Pyru.
And I wanted to specifically stay away from red and a power fist logo.
Stay away from red.
So,
Power fist, like
we're talking about black issues, and
that's my baby in the background, y'all.
You can't see him. Barely.
Yes, you can. Oh, that's my child.
We're talking about black issues, and for a lot of times, as soon as you start talking about anything black, people automatically think revolutions and things like that. And I think it's different. These are different topics, very, very precise conversations that we usually have, and it's not meant to start any kind of it's not meant to give off revolutionary vibes. So. One thing I wanted to stay away from was red and the power fist. I wanted to stay away from that. But the idea that him and I settled on, I think it's going to look nice. So.
Like, when is it gonna be ready?
That's all.
When is it gonna be ready?
Sometime next week.
Sometime next week. See, that's why I must be the enemy of progress.
Wait,
that's
what color?
crazy
What
to
color
me.
is it?
I gave him 4 colors to choose from: purple, maroon, black, and yellow. So to incorporate, 2 or 3 or even all those colors.
Quite like maroon.
The purple is my color. I always go to that color, and in yellow, they just stand out for me. So.
Okay.
But,
Got it.
We'll check it out. But when it comes in, I can't wait because if he does that, then I'm gonna have him do a couple other things. But he's gonna do that in a banner so that way we can get that posted, and then these episodes can end up on SoundCloud, Spotify, and all those other podcast channels.
Ooh, that's
and not just
fashion
YouTube.
pants.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So progress, man. Progress has been the theme for it.
Okay.
What else? We got a new president. There's that.
This man been mad quiet. He said, you know what, I'm gonna do work and stuff like this. So first of all, can I just say I was just talking about this the other day, and call me messy or whatever, but bring Donald Trump back, bro. The news is dry. The news is so dry. Like
perfect.
ain't like
It's perfect.
the news
I
is
like it like this. Let's keep it quiet.
the news is about lawmaking and policies and politics. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
but they're not getting into details. That's one thing I did notice. Like
they're not.
Joe Biden had been signed in 33 executive orders.
It's way more than that at this point.
Yeah, well, when I was looking at it last week, it was 33 orders on the 22nd, I believe, and a lot of those things are political theater, in my opinion. But again,
Not
that's just
really,
mine.
not really all of them. He reinstated the CARE Act, which is necessary to deal with a global pandemic. He also lifted the ban on transgender in the military, which, I mean, I'm not particularly mad at. I'm not for it, or do I oppose it. And I guess, I don't know, I guess my only plight towards it is just like, why not allow the military to take care of itself? Like, we got tons of great people to make these types of decisions. But as a soldier, I'm realizing that, the military can't take care of itself. We kind of trash.
I peeped that before Trump left. There was he passed something that said social workers and homeless shelters can deny service to members of the LGBT. So if you openly identify as a member of the LGBT, whichever one you are, a social worker can deny you service, and homeless shelters can turn you away.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that has been, counteracted or fought
He
against,
probably
but
did. That was probably one of the first things he
I
did.
saw it on the news. That was one of the last things he did before he left, which I thought was crazy that nobody's outraged about that, because that seems like a big deal.
Also, Trump threatens to grab pussy. So I mean, we gotta have some perspective right now. Either you gonna talk about
That's
the
just locker room
politics,
talk, You weren't supposed to hear that.
but you know what it is. It's, for me, it's just like he is so, he's so polarized that it is very, very, very difficult to talk about some of the things and the policies that he put in place. But I still stand by what I said. You know what I'm saying? It's problematic as hell, but it's dry out here in the media these days. Everybody working and shit. Boo. Nobody cares about work.
I like it like this. Let's keep it like this for 2 more years.
Well, that's the problem, right? Because when you don't hear about all the different changes that are happening, you're uninformed, and then you know what they say. When you're not informed, you lose out, and you're the ones that actually suffer the most. But out of the 33, 13 of them were actually reversals to Trump's policies. One in particular was some of the Muslim ban, as a lot of the left wing like to call it, but the travel ban that Donald Trump had from when he first joined office that very first week 4 years ago in 2016.
But he signed a travel ban as well.
Who?
Joe Biden.
Well, that's something different. But
For the
one that
pandemic.
he signed reversed Trump's original travel ban from the 5 Muslim dominated countries, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other
Trump
ones. Some
was
of
crazy.
them, some of them were this and that. I encourage everyone to go out and read them, because some of it does affect us. When I say us, normal people, directly, and a lot of it does not. A lot of it, again, is political theater. It's up to the states to actually make decisions. If the federal government passes laws and the states do nothing about it, or they fail to enact a lot of the federal requirements, then it won't affect you personally. So again, I encourage everyone to pay attention to what they're signing, because not everything in there is good. A lot of things I'm questioning, especially when it comes to the immigration stuff, or just like the political theater signing of the executive orders for the federal government to cancel their contracts with private prisons. That closes 0 prisons.
At all.
Not that we should close prisons, in my opinion, but that to me was the top notch of political theater, in the sense that it doesn't do anything different. It doesn't change anything. There are only so many handful of federal prisons anyway, and the fact that it just cancels private contracts with federally prisons, it's just it's not even a drop in a bucket. It's not even a drop in a bucket. It's literally no changes whatsoever. So, there's a lot of things that are happening that people need to pay attention to.
Boo, I still hate work.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Like, I mean, I'm talking about work, and I'm also talking about the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm starting to realize that, like, the news was almost like a reality show. It was definitely a reality show.
Well,
So to see them be like,
they put like a guy who's in movies and stuff. Basically, they put
Facts.
a
He
non-political
was in 3.5 movies, and all of a sudden he's
you're
an
not
actor.
gonna
Cut it
talk
out.
about that.
And
like
it makes
that.
so bad. All he
First
did
of
was, "Oh, you're gonna go that way."
My
And two of them,
point
like, cut it
is
out. Stop
that
it.
he's not a political figure in the highest political position. That's the
guess.
problem.
This is true. Nah, man, fuck that. I still want to see all type of fuck shit on the news and everybody talking about work and whatever.
I think we need to get rid of that. And when it comes to politics, because things aren't laid out clear if they're spoken about at all, and all of the extra rah-rah is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, it was ridiculous 4 years ago in 2016. I would like to see clear policies. I would like to see things laid out in layman's terms.
I also want a stimmy. I want one more stimmy.
I want one of those too.
I want a stimmy.
Like
a single or one.
Okay, fair.
Touche.
Fair.
I am mad at that.
Too bad. I still need me. I still need me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just really thinking about it because it's like, so you pay your taxes ahead of time, right? And then at the end of the year, they give you a refund if you've paid too much. But if you really think about it, the government, like, gave us our money back.
That's why it's called a refund.
No. But I'm talking about this in regards to the stimmies, and they were like really clutching their pearls, like, oh my god, like I can't believe we got to give them stimmies. But do you realize the government gave you back your money and like a portion of it, like a very extremely small portion of it, and then had an attitude about it?
No. So your stimulus checks are not direct taxes
it's not
that you
your
pay
direct
from your withholdings. It was actually government funded. You know, again, our taxes pay for anything that's government funding. So yes, in theory, it is your own money, but
it's your money, girl.
It was an actual
money
expense that the country had to come up with. The fact that they couldn't come up with it, you know, or they had so much debate about coming up with it for the people that are suffering. Meanwhile, millionaires and billionaires are tripling their income.
The boys making bank through the pandemic.
They said anyone that's considered out of the 1% lost $3.9 trillion in income. Meanwhile, the millionaires and you know the CEOs gained $3.7 trillion in profit.
Also, they still like got our money.
You know what's
That's
funny?
Cute.
Whenever I have debates with people about stuff that comes like finances and money, for some reason the poorest people are so eager to defend millionaires.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it's the same
I'm
reason
like,
why trailer
why?
trash, God forgive me, that's like a really problematic term, but why lower income disparaged white people voted for Trump. And I'm like, bro, he don't even like you either. Like, what are you talking about?
It's wild.
Well, it's weird because a lot of American history has been based off of race for so long, solely based off the color of our skin. Now we're seeing what the rest of the country, what the rest of the world deals with, which is, you know, more or less a class, you know, classism, or a caste system like India does. So you have a weird mixture of these rich ultra rich people battling with the poor about what should and should not happen. And a lot of Americans see it as race when really, you know, they're looking at it from a different perspective. Yes, there's an element of race involved, but a lot of it, what we're seeing now, is just pure.
I think it's
class.
about fear.
At the end of the day, it's just
I think
keep
it's
the poor
about
poor.
fear. Like because I watch a lot of Fox News because, you know, I like to self-torture. So I watch a lot of Fox News, and if you watch CNN, MSNBC, they do a lot of fear mongering as well. So I'm not gonna take that out of what, you know, how they report their news. But at the same time, if you go to Fox, it is literally like your blood pressure will go up. They spend the entire time scaring the living shit out of white America.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, so you might be like super terrified watching CNN for like 8 minutes, right? And then you go into commercials and they're like, oh yeah, you know, let's take Latuda, and like, what about like going here, and they'll advertise clothing. Hell nah. Fox is like, let's double up on that shit. The commercials are about shooting people. The commercials are about people robbing you. Okay, you need all the guns. Where are the guns?
And buy more gold.
And buy gold. You need the gold because these people out here, when society breaks down, I'm like, whose society? Where?
Yeah.
It is the reason why these people are absolutely terrified, and they live in a completely different reality. I was watching Fox News, and I looked into several of those gold companies or whatnot, and a couple of pills that they say gonna make you live forever, and then this ridiculous vest that got like 16 pockets on the inside. I was gonna buy me one of them because Fox made me feel very terrified. Because what if I don't have enough pockets?
That was recently or when the pandemic started?
No, this was like
all the time.
all the time.
We're talking about January 19th, right before Joe sworn in.
Wow, it's crazy. They're like, you need this RV.
I mean, that's the easiest way though to control people is through fear.
It is.
It's very effective and it's very
extremely
easy.
effective.
You know, and then once you get into that cycle, like they're in that cycle now. That I can't miss the news because I don't want to
be missing.
Yeah, I don't want to miss something detrimental happening. I got to be informed about the end of the world, and it's just a cycle.
Facts.
That's why I don't watch the news. Shit is
No, watch the news, man. That's wow.
I'll read the news. I love reading news, but I don't watch the news.
Yeah. So what's going on in y'all weeks? Shamar, what you got going
Shit.
on? Anything new and exciting happen for you?
Well, speaking of new and exciting, not that it's anything to do with new and exciting, but I was thinking like 30 minutes before this podcast, I was thinking of like the Stims and Seds, and I was like, damn, I'm really just about to say the same ones every week because ain't nothing new happened.
Bro, it's all about perspective, man.
But that's also a good thing. I think that can be a good thing because I experience a lot of change and.
No, change is a good thing. Stability is bad.
Stability's bad?
Stability is bad.
Yeah, I'm looking for just a little bit of stability
just
right
the
now.
tiniest amount.
Change
I
It makes
am
so bad
paying
shit ain't even
$30
shit ain't even
copay.
changing. It's
Everybody
just-
wants
And
stability.
taking Lexapro to
and then
try
they
to get
get
some
it.
of that stability.
Look. Everybody wants stability, and then they get it, and now they're depressed. Nobody wants stability. Change is good.
I'm depressed because I can't find stability. Everything.
And then
keeps
you're gonna
moving.
find it,
and it's
you're
not
like,
even
this shit
changing.
sucks.
It's not even changing. It's just moving. It's just like, yo, stop spinning 1 second.
Just
like,
1 second.
You know,
Just
if you're gonna
1
change,
second.
change. But damn it. Just,
Yeah, just like everything is like it's like a hot ass dumpster fire at work, and they're like, you know what? COVID for everyone.
Yo,
Yeah,
Like-
what are you guys up to now? You guys up to like 7 people? 8?
No, it's like in the 20s at this
See?
point. It's
Yeah.
so bad. So it's like, I need me some of that stability.
Nah,
but the only reason why I'm not actively freaking out, because I'm on drugs, y'all. This is fan-fucking-tastic.
Well, I went and got my second COVID vaccine. Let me tell you, yesterday sucked.
He's a walking zombie, yo.
Yesterday sucked. Oh my god, my arm was so sore. I don't know if I had a fever or not because I ended up taking Tylenol
Definitely
throughout
had
the
fever.
day. But yeah, that second vaccine did suck. It sucked.
Well,
I got 4 days off back to back, and
back to back. That's what the fuck I'm
Beautiful.
talking about.
beautiful.
This is great.
My job
It's
be
wonderful.
working me like
This
a
man
dog.
did not go to work.
Bro.
I had the whole month of December off.
Man, that shit is cap.
Out of all,
I
like,
had
but it was
like, November
extenuating
off.
circumstances.
I had November off, and then I work, bro. We got 7-day weeks. How I work 9 days a week? How did that work?
Man.
And then it's not even like I'm going to work and doing work. I'll be working for like 5 people too. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, Victor.
I know it's hard.
Oh, it's crazy.
Man, keep track of what you do, man. Put that shit on your resume.
Oh, Nick, what? Have you seen my resume?
I haven't.
I don't cap on my resume, but I
definitely
I
cap on his resume.
Like
When somebody say something
Great
before they say
detail.
something, they do it.
No.
I ain't trying to be racist, but
No, look,
proceed with a
look,
racist
I
comment.
put-
I
so-
don't be capping, but
So look,
capping follows.
So for example, if let's say at my job one time I had to restart somebody's computer, I'll be like, I assisted people with the engineering and technology that going at work, like shit like that.
I'm an IT specialist.
Exactly, bro. My resume, it looks so amazing.
I'm an uncertified IT
And then
specialist.
I'm so good at bullshitting.
I'm a troubleshooting expert.
Look, I'm so good at bullshitting. I'll be at the interview and it'll seem like I really did that. They'll be like, so it says on here that you developed 12 supercomputers. I'll be like, yeah, this is something I do. You gotta know how to play the corporate game, bro. They don't care about
Wow,
you.
corporate game, crazy.
They don't care
No,
about you.
but it's important because like there are everyone knows what adjectives, right? It's descriptive words and verbs and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
And then adjectives and verbs together.
I'm not really good at English, so I'm gonna let you finish.
I hear you, but adjectives and verbs together, like sometimes in the English language there are one word that describes both adjectives and verbs together, and it's amazing. You know, a thesaurus is so important to have on
Boo.
you.
What's an example?
Like you said,
Everybody hates words.
all I do is, I might flip a switch or turn off, turn on. That's actually called troubleshooting, and being a troubleshooting expert is very important in any day's technology.
Wow,
So,
mind blown.
Oh man, your vocab, like a well written resume will literally get you like an interview over hundreds of other people, because you'd be surprised how many people come with these doo-doo ass resumes that are
like
terrible.
Booty.
Like, oh my god.
You know, I've seen one. I've been fortunate enough to where I've been hiring people since 2015, and I got a really bad one months ago, sometime in September, to a point, and I felt bad because I understood where this person was coming from, and I really wanted to help him out. So I went and I cleaned up the resume, and I sent it back to her, and you know, she was thankful, but I also felt like an asshole because it's like, dude, she didn't ask you for all this stuff, but it was really bad.
No, that's I would be very grateful.
Nah, well, because I always find out, like, whenever I try to help, especially lately, whenever I try to help someone, you know, they take offense to it for whatever reason. So now I just make recommendations on it. But this particular person, the resume was so bad, I saw it and I was like, you know what, she really has something here. So I went and redid it. Like, it was like a 5-page resume. I cut it down to 2 with the references and everything else. And just really spiced it up, because, you know, she just had a lot of experience elsewhere that just really didn't matter. So I gave her that tips, and I'm hoping that, you know, someone hires her soon.
That's a huge thing. Make sure you tweak your resume for your job you're going for.
Please.
Somebody actually taught me that. One of the regionals in my job actually taught me that.
Cater to your job.
Not only, you know how people say, oh, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, but you should really, really do a little bit of research on your job. Don't just send in your general resume. Make some tweaks to it. If you know you're going into a tech company, then make your resume a bit more on the, you know, tech side.
On the technical side.
Yeah, like make sure you use terms that are in that field. You know, when you're listing your experience, make sure you know your skills section, like the skills that you have. Make sure a lot of them are technology oriented. You know, they don't want to know how fast you can flip a burger or something. That's not relevant to them. So.
And same thing with the managerial role. Like, you need to show your leadership skills. You need to show the times where you've been put in.
I have the charisma of a legendary god, bro.
So you and Shauna, it makes me laugh because y'all both Aries. Your birthdays are only a couple days apart. But the fact that both of y'all have the gift of gab and y'all can talk your way out of a plastic bag is ridiculous.
Bro, I can talk
my way out of absolutely every. I was telling you about that, how I helped the whole lieutenant, and then she was like, no, I need to put this, and I'm like, nah, girl, take that out. And she was like, but I'm lying, and I was like, and if you're bullshitting on a part of your brief, bitch, highlight it so you know that you bullshitted it, right? And then you go back and you fix it. So by the time they actually seen it, they never even knew you lied, girl. Like, what is you doing?
Yeah.
So
stop acting crazy.
Like, stop being like, you have to know some. And she was like, I was like, you look real. And she's like, ideally. I was like, take ideally out of your vocabulary. You need to speak as if you know what you're doing, and 9 times out of 10 the person will not ask you, 10 times out of 10 they will not ask you a question about the information that you just provided to them, because they just feel like it's a fact based on the delivery. Girl, you sound crazy. So
not only sound sure of yourself, but also demand the things that you want from your employer.
You know,
I realize that a lot of people are scared, especially when it comes to asking for pay or asking for like what they want out of their job. A lot of people are scared to do that, and I don't understand that. If you want something from your job, you should demand it from your employer. Definitely do that.
You want to get into the bait news?
Yeah, but I do want to make a comment because you said something about dressing for the part. And it's funny because civilians, I think that when you say dressing, they automatically think the clothing that they wear. But in the military, when you dress something, you conform it to a way to fit whatever you're doing. So like we have dress right dress when it comes to equipment. We have, you know, like the word dress is more of a... You
need to be uniform.
Yeah, it's the
not an
ability to adapt to
individualistic
whatever that situation is. So like you should not only be dressing for the part, but dressing your resume to fit that part too. Yeah.
First of all, they said that T.I. and Tiny got people in the basement. They keep pinching people's kids.
Ooh, is this bait news? Bait news?
It is bait news, but I just wanted to come in like that. I wanted to come in very hot. They said they down to the basement. They say they keep pinching people down there bleeding. T.I. keep putting his penis in people's butts and things. All of this is alleged. Then shekinahjo came online crying like she was crying about Gucci. And we don't know what she did. For the record, I feel like she really didn't do anything. But like I said, all of this stuff is alleged. Then they got this girl, this crazy girl named Sabrina. I think she's like a victim mixed with a witch. And let me explain. So this bitch right here, right? So like everybody's like, oh my gosh, she like be doing voodoo and everything like that. And then other people are like, but she actually is a victim. And then there was this random girl that she sliced and diced. It's a whole ass mess. Yeah, and they said that T.I. and Tiny like to beat up people and then drug them. And then this girl says she woke up and all of her holes hurt, to include her mouth. Like her jaw was like almost dislocated. She did have like, I think like broken or strained bones. Like her booty hole was all bent out of shape.
Wait. So there are people actually like making these accusations?
The accusations are up to, I think, almost 30 women at this point.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're giving very much Bill Cosby, R. Kelly tease right now.
Oh my God.
Wait.
What?
Because I'm hearing this like second, third, fourth hand. I haven't actually looked into any of it yet. T.I. and Tiny are what?
They are okay. So on
like, what's the actual allegations? Are they drugging people? Are they having
there's
sex with
drugging
people without consent?
They're assaulting people. They are sexually they're sexually assaulting them, they're drugging them, all of the things. They're doing all of the things. And now, so here's the thing. What they're doing, if it's a fetish or if it's a preference, nobody really has an issue with the action. Oh, you're seeing the women's stories? Yeah, go ahead, flip through them.
I'm just
endless.
Scrolling through quickly just to see what I can gather.
So there is a whole like fetish where people find it attractive to engage in sexual acts or activities with people that are semi-conscious or unconscious. And there are couples.
I believe it's called limp. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not even what it's called. So that's a real thing, and people do partake in it. And like, no, it's kind of like BDSM, but because you're engaged in this type of sexual activity, there are rules and boundaries.
I'd figure.
Exactly. So that's not what it is. So then it's kind of convoluted, kind of like how the R. Kelly thing was, or even Bill Cosby, where there are women that accused him of rape that said, look, I was going to have sex with him. I was going to have consensual sex with him. But I did not agree for him to drug me, and then all the other shit that came after that I didn't consent to. So now you're raping.
Consent, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's called in the court documentation. It's called the revoke of consent.
You can revoke consent, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it is too, where it's convoluted because a lot of these girls were escorts or strippers, and they, for the most part, wanted, or some of them were also underage, by the way. Yikes.
It's Hollywood.
So some of them were like, nah, like I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? They like the whole like threesome. Cool, we'll do whatever you want and you'll pay me for my service. But then they were like, when they got there, it was definitely more than one girl, which they didn't agree to. Then they were like, oh, let's take like party drugs. But the girls were like, it didn't seem like, I think they told them they were taking coke. And they're like, kind of like, I don't really want to take coke because, I'm out here doing the service. Y'all can get high if y'all want to. But I like to stay, because I need to collect my coins afterwards. I need to be coherent.
Also, that's a red flag. For those things, usually you're supposed to take, like, ecstasy or Molly, but okay.
Exactly. So then the girls were like, we weren't even sure we were drinking. There were some girls that just flat out refused the advances of, like, the substances, and they were given, like, a mixed drink. And the next thing they knew, they got up and all type of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
T.I., huh?
Expeditiously.
That's crazy.
The king of Atlanta, Wakanda.
Stop it.
We don't represent
Stop it. Yeah, stop it. Yeah, listen, we're not gonna insult some beloved characters from Marvel Universe like that. Cut it out.
But that is exactly what's going on. It's getting worse and worse. Like I said, everyone is kind of at the point to where they're like, okay, this shit is giving very much abuse vibes, and we need everybody to go to jail.
Abuse vibes? No, it's abuse. Like if anything and those are true, it's rape. It's abuse.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
That's exactly what it is. And I think it's convoluted in the media right now because some of the girls are openly saying, like, I was okay with having sex with both of them. Mm. I went there to do that, and I'm okay with that. I'm not saying that I wasn't consenting to that. But the stuff that happened, there was this girl, she needed surgery. Like, actually, that was like multiple reports. They needed to be like, yeah, make that face. Yeah.
Okay. That's sick.
And she had no idea. And then there was another female that she was kind of, I guess, like try to find out what had happened to her during the time she was unconscious.
Yeah.
She found out that like the security guard slept with her allegedly. Both T.I. and Tiny slept with her allegedly. I guess T.I. was enjoying penetrative sex with her too much, and so Tiny punched her in the face, so that like explained why her head had hurt. It was a hot ass. Yes, it goes. The rabbit hole is like non-existent.
So how would they go about proving this then?
Well, there's this one really super ghetto ass girl from like Norfolk, Virginia that like did a live, and she was saying if she can prove, she said T.I. was in her DM, and she's gonna release the screenshots. Now, here's the thing: she was one of the women that accused them of sexual assault and drugging her. Mm-hmm. So, if a celebrity, which is usually why their legal teams meet with you and make you sign an NDA,
yeah,
if you talk to her, she can use that as evidence. Because that is an admission of guilt if you've contacted somebody after you commit a crime in the hopes of giving them money.
Oh.
So she said that actually happened. Okay. Like that actually happened.
I hope if any of this is true, I hope they do go away for life. That's awful.
But
that's crazy.
It's a lot of people involved.
Assault, rape, abuse, all that stuff needs to be left behind. No means no, and a whole lot of other words besides yes means no as well. If it's not a direct yes to participate,
is not consent.
It's not consent, and consent can be taken away at any point in time after that.
This is all true, and like I said, it's convoluted because they're not perfect victims. They weren't in a dark alley carrying a Bible and wearing a crucifix, and they got busted over the head and raped. They're not. Most of them are not those type of victims. Most of them are in sex work or are strippers and. Well, technically, that's also sex work.
Yeah. But you're professional or sex work doesn't mean that.
Doesn't mean. But that's why. That's why it hasn't gotten I would say the attention that like a R. Kelly has gotten because they're like people. It's been in the arguments, on Shade Room. They're in deep discussion about like that girl went there to have sex. Yeah, but she didn't go there to get drugged and like her anal.
That's not even an argument.
Cavity
There's
ruptured.
no argument
like, bitch,
there.
What?
You have no argument there if you're trying to say, not you, but I'm saying.
No.
If somebody's trying to say, oh, well, I mean, they went there for sex, that doesn't mean anything. As soon as you revoke consent, you're not there for sex anymore. Like, if you're not comfortable, you don't. But yeah, there's no argument there.
So that is the current like social media argument because they're not good victims. Yeah,
that shit is whack.
Yeah.
Whack as fuck.
Real whack.
So we shall see how this will go. It's a little convoluted because, like I said, a lot of the women admitted to taking payment and being completely okay with engaging in sex activities with both of them. They did not agree to be drugged or to be assaulted by not just T.I. and Tiny, but their entourage as well. Yeah. Shit is bizarre.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because,
Hollywood.
Exactly.
That's
just one
weird.
word, Hollywood.
They're
weird. Then I wouldn't consider them Hollywood. A lot of people will probably look at that and be like, "Oh, that's rap culture."
No, it's not rap.
No, that's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood.
That's Hollywood.
There's only so much penetrative sex that somebody can enjoy.
That would be weird rich people shit.
Very much so.
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Rich.
You would still classify it because when I think Hollywood, I start thinking of what's his name? Steiner.
Harvey Weinstein.
Whatever.
No,
I start thinking of people like him.
It's literally the same culture. Which, by the way, as quiet as it's kept,
it's money.
You know what I'm saying? Like, allegedly,
Well, they get away with it
Jamie
because
Foxx
of money,
is also very strange.
Listen.
That I'm telling you.
I think there's a very clear line though between like fetishes and strange, and then bullshit.
I think that when you have access to unlimited funds, that line is very blurry.
That's why
I'm gonna do a hot take. I'm gonna do a hot take. My hot take is that regardless, I'm gonna do a hot take, man, because I think regardless of how many funds of a person has, the fact that sex is so taboo and we don't talk about it, we can't have an open discussion without people feeling uncomfortable about certain things. It forces people to seclude a lot of these thoughts that they need to really sit down and discuss about, and furthermore, I think it adds more to the violence that we see towards sex workers. Sex shouldn't be so taboo that where we can't talk about it.
I hate the way sex workers are highlighted in society. That shit sucks.
Because low key, no, high key, everybody's a sex worker. People exchange sexual things for stability, for like a family, for monetary gain, for your place at work and society at large. Like things are traded. It's been like this since the beginning of time. That's why it's called the oldest profession.
Yeah. But I mean, to highlight someone as weird or being a weirdo,
the strange is what I'm saying is that like he's just no. What I'm saying, Jamie Foxx though, his parties are notorious, and the reason why they say that they're so notorious,
if it's consensual, it shouldn't be a problem.
You're missing it. Okay. You're missing it. So the reason why I say allegedly he's very strange is not because of his sexual preferences. It's because he is noted as one of the most thorough, like, P words. He can have some predatory behavior. So he's noted as one of those type of people. The difference is that I don't know if he has the gift of gab or he's just like has some type of like legal experience, but you ain't going on his motherfucking street without an NDA. You ain't going in the house without an NDA.
I wouldn't put those allegations against him, especially since that these are all rumors and everything else. I do think that there are people that are into some freaky shit. And the fact that people don't allow themselves to talk about it and out in the open because everyone's so afraid of sex or the conversation around sex and all different types of sex, it causes people to exclude themselves and go into recluse. And you have when people do have funds and the ability to host and do shit, it draws a weird, It draws a weird crowd without the conversation. Just because you have the funds and the means and the ability to do and reenact a lot of your fantasies doesn't mean that you don't have to discuss and negotiate with your partners. You still do. And the fact that, until people can get over the fact that sex it happens everywhere and it happens, in every single part of the world, we cannot move forward and stop, and stop accusing people of being weirdos or whatever the case may be. Until we have open conversations,
But this kind of opened the whole T.I. and Tiny thing opened like a subculture because people came to the defense of that type of sex or that fetish because they're like, yo, there is a whole subgroup of people that are engaging in this type of activity
and it's consensually.
Yeah. Like there are couples that do it, there are swingers that do it. It's just like across the board, and this is a lot more. This particular fetish or fantasy is very, very common. Come to find out, sexually, like sex therapists said that like they see this a lot. This is not a weird thing to be aroused by somebody that's semi-conscious. Like, and she's like, and then if you think about it, you've heard a lot of women say like, oh, my man woke me up to do da-da-da-da. She's like, that's the same thing. That's a part of that. A lot of humans, men, women, whatever, are very like aroused at the thought of a semi-conscious person, but it's a way to do it. That's what it is.
No, it's just called open communication. Until people are still actually, are still able to actually talk about sex and the kind of sex that they like and all the weird, the quote unquote weird shit that they like openly, without being judged and without being, too scared to actually, be vulnerable. We're going to continue to have this weird conversation.
I don't think that's gonna. I mean, the whole reason there's such a stigma around sex is because we live in a Christian country, and I was just listening to a story the other day about a girl who was talking how her mother almost beat her half to death when she was 14 because she said penis at church.
What?
So it's like that whole stigma around sex is partially due to the religious country we live in.
It's a problem. I don't know what's happening with T.I. and Tiny. I do think that if there are crimes committed, they should be prosecuted, or whatever the case may be. But I also think that the education part around sex, the conversations around sex.
No, we ain't gonna educate T.I. and Tiny.
You think they gotta be rehabilitated?
I'm not talking about T.I. and Tiny. I'm talking about in general. This should open the door for a lot of people to stop being afraid about discussing sex and what sex means and how it belongs and how different types of sex fit into society.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? If there are crimes committed, let those crimes be prosecuted in the court of law.
But like I said, there was a large support that came out for this type of sex.
Yeah.
And
but that should show us that there's more to learn. There's more to learn about how we can have these conversations surrounded by sex. we don't have enough sex. We don't have enough conversations with sex. You know, there's almost not, I mean, at least me growing up, there was no conversations about sex. The only the longest export I got about the conversation of sex was don't get anyone pregnant. No, don't get anyone pregnant. That was it. That was my extent of sex education ever. Like,
right.
I'm sorry, not true. When it comes to my family speaking to me about sex, it was just don't get anyone pregnant. All right, so I do think that whatever the situation has spun, or whatever the people involved, whatever the case may be, whatever's going to happen with that is going to happen. But what I'm saying overall, the conversation around sex needs to change. It needs to be more involved, and it needs to be more open and less judgmental, so that when people can have these conversations and find people that like the same shit that they're into, and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Besides, consent is important. I'm not arguing
and revoking, because I feel like I thought that it was really cool to hear that there's a whole society out here that really enjoys this, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not arguing that.
The issue is the consent part.
I'm not arguing with that. The fact that T.I. and Tiny didn't do their due diligence and talk to people thoroughly is the problem. No one wanted to talk about it. That is my entire argument. I'm not arguing consent is consent.
Did you think if they were more, or that if they were able to be more open with their fetishes, that this wouldn't have happened?
No. What I'm saying is that the fact that they can't, not just them, but people in general can't openly discuss about their fetishes because they're going to be labeled as weirdo, or that it's not a vulnerable conversation to talk about. Things are going to continue to happen because, like you said, people came out of the woodwork and say, no, it's not us, it's people that are doing wrong. But it just goes to show you that there are people that are into that kind of shit, and the fact that they couldn't find anyone that's not into that kind of shit is not just their fault, but it's also the fact that, again, sex in general is not talked about.
I disagree. I feel like it was very deviant. I feel like their behavior was deviant because I think for them,
maybe.
But I think it was power. It was power.
I'm not defending them. If they're guilty, let them be guilty. I'm not defending them, but I'm talking about in general. I know what you're saying. Deeper conversation of sex needs to evolve.
No, you're right. I think you're right about that. But in this specific situation, I don't think that would have changed anything.
I don't think it would have changed anything.
I think they definitely, because they, like Shauna said, there's a whole community around it. They're able to do it safely. There's a way to do it consensually. Mm-hmm. They just didn't.
They just don't want to.
In their specific situation, I don't agree with that. I think that no matter how open they could have been about it, there was always a way for them to do it without harming anybody.
Exactly.
But you are right that in general, sex does need to get rid of that negative stigma around it, especially when it comes to fetishes and whatnot. Because there's a lot of people who do. There's a lot of professional dominatrix.
Period.
But
sex conversations in general
need to change. What you guys also don't understand is that there's a part of sex that's deviant and should never be allowed. And let me explain. So when you're talking about T.I. and Tiny or whatever the hell they did, that might be a real fantasy. They might really be a part of that community that enjoys a semi-conscious person or having sexual relations with somebody in that state. What I am saying also is that that might be the means to an end. It could be the power that they have exerted over that individual, the abuse that they have bestowed upon that person during the activity. A lot of people say rape is never about rape. Like, it's just not. It's never been about that.
It's about power.
It's about power.
Sex, yeah.
It's not about the act of actually having sex, because, I mean, if you look at Ted Bundy, a lot of people thought he was handsome. But he chose to rape.
Shit is so weird.
Because people were willing to have consent. As a matter of fact, he was married, I think, at the time. But it's...
Just because you're married don't mean you're having sex.
That's a fact.
That shit is funny.
It's the arousal around having power over someone, and that, my friend, is a crime.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do think that there is a correlation between having consensual sex and people hiding their fetishes or whatever they're into. I do think that there's still a correlation, but I do agree with your point of saying that when people are assaulting, when people are raping, when people are doing things to people, it's never about sex. It's never about getting their rocks off. It's usually always about power. It's usually always about the dynamic of them feeling in control and things like that. So yeah, I do, but I'm not talking about that, because I do think, not that it doesn't happen, but it's a different conversation to be had. Just because I want to promote safe sex or open sex with consenting adults, doesn't mean that I'm ignorant to the fact that there are deviant people out there. I do think that there's a way to have an open conversation about sex and still protect ourselves, from the dangers that come with sex. And just like anything else, most people get killed by someone they know, not by someone they don't know. So it goes both ways in that sense of having an open conversation about sex and also protecting yourself and those around you from people that are not into just the sex but the power dynamic around it.
Right. Facts on facts. Do you want to switch into the fact that the Reddit people put the whole Wall Street in shambles?
That shit is fire. That shit is fire.
Shambles.
Oh man, Wall Street
that shit got me on
versus
Binance,
hedge
bro.
funds. Huh?
That shit got me on Binance, bro. I was already on Robinhood, but I just put myself on Binance too, bro.
Yeah, Robinhood trying to limit everyone and restrict
Binance
people,
too.
son.
See, everybody want to put the finger at Robinhood. Nigga, Binance still ain't approved
No, they're
yet.
the only ones. I
Fuck them
guess
niggas.
there's what Webull now that
Bro,
I
there's
keep
a whole bunch
seeing.
of, man. Look, I just know that I put a little bit of paper and some shit, and that paper from the multiplier.
All right.
Listen.
Shmar, I know you be watching stocks. What you think about all this?
Shmar said all of this is beneath him.
His
Okay.
YouTuber
And
said
it's-
that all this is beneath him. Look, I heard that man. That man was watching videos. He worships these two YouTubers. So they said this shit was
The two
trash. So
YouTubers
that
he
boy
hears.
said he don't care about it. As long as the YouTubers don't care, he don't care.
Okay, I don't know who you were speaking for, but at first, when I seen what the GameStop stock was doing, like my friends were noticing and were like, we weren't really sure what was going on because it was like some sort of manipulation, so we just kind of stayed out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until it got like really, the stock got really high where we understood that it was like people on Reddit, and even to now, like. I didn't get in it at first, so I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go near that.
That was a smart thing to do. So, just to provide a little bit of backstory for people that haven't been paying attention, I'm sure by now, if you had any interest
Shambles.
in stocks, or even if you didn't,
It's
you
in
probably
You don't even
Shambles.
need to have
Explained
interest.
it.
Just go on Twitter.
But-
You'll see it.
Literally. So social media.
Hedge funds,
My
they
old
bet
ass.
against or for companies to either go up or down.
It's
in this
illegal.
case, they were bet. No, it's not illegal.
It's
all
not illegal, but it's.
But in this case,
you know what I mean.
the hedge fund bet against GameStop and said, "Hey, this company's going to fail. We're going to buy stock. We're going to borrow stocks, and then sell it to someone else, and then get those stocks back at a lower price because GameStop's going to fail,
And they're gonna make
and
money.
they're going to keep the difference between what they paid for the stock versus what they sold the stock for." Or what they bought the stock for. So the
The
next
little guy got mad and said, "No, you ain't gonna do it to me."
So as everyone knows, the gamer community is the most toxic, most prolific community ever around. And someone
love
noticed
them.
that this hedge fund, for whatever reason, now keep in mind, hedge funds historically have produced or published
Terrible.
what they're betting against. It's public knowledge.
But
Someone
still.
at Reddit saw it, and this is Wall Street Bets. I don't know anyone's name, whatever the case may be, but Wall Street's Bets, someone in their community noticed it and said, hey, they're betting against GameStop. They're going to turn it into the new Blockbuster. I'm paraphrasing here.
Blockbuster was involved, and I didn't like it. As soon as I heard Blockbuster, I said, "Go get them, nerds!"
So as soon as they caught
That's
wind of it,
it.
they said, hey, if we come together, we can beat them at their own game. We can buy the stocks up. It creates a demand. The price will go up. More and more people will buy, and because they borrowed the stocks, the hedge fund will then
They're
have
gonna
to
lose
buy
money.
the stocks at the premium case at the premium price, and
They're
thus
gonna lose money.
lose money because of it.
They've already lost $6
So
billion.
GameStop, within the matter of a
Crazy.
few months, they went from, I think the lowest was
Like
at
$18.
$18
Like four-
in
no.
November.
Oh, no.
It was
$18 in
$18,
November.
and now it's like
It was at
$312.
$127 last week, and then or the week before that, and now it's at $312, or it was $312
Crazy.
sometime on
Revenge of the
Friday at
nerds.
closing.
We're
So
sick of
it
it.
was insane because the hedge funds that called short, that bet against GameStop, now had to turn around and say, hey, those shares that I borrowed, I now have to buy them back from you at the higher price. Lost hundreds of billions of dollars to a point to where Wall Street execs from across the world,
They
Fox
were so
Business and all of them,
upset.
they are upset because a lot of them
They're gonna
are
help us.
well, not broke,
Which
but
it's
the
like
company.
it is artificial. It's not real.
Well, that's what the stock market's
But-
always been.
Well, no, yeah. But in terms of this one, like specifically, that's their argument as to why it's wrong. But I mean, if the rich get less rich, I'm okay with it.
But then, okay, so then, and that was the original goal, because they've been doing so exactly what got done to them. They have been doing that to people since the beginning, or the conception of the stock market. They're only upset, and actually they have more resources, so they were able to go to people like Robinhood and Webull and be like, don't sell them anymore. It's not worth it. Think of it. They shouldn't be able to do that. They should be able to take an infinite amount of loss, because they've been doing it since the conception of the stock market.
Yeah, and now these the places where you can buy stocks, like Robinhood and Binance, they're slowing verifications for new users. They're stopping you from buying some stocks, or stopping you from selling some stocks. What's it called? I tried to I was trying to buy more of a Dogecoin, because apparently that's the next thing it's gonna pop.
No. Listen. Dogecoin been around for years.
Yeah, I heard about Dogecoin when I was in high school.
Yeah, for years. And the founder, the guy who made Dogecoin, did it as a joke, just to show how easy it was to create the belief system behind cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
So he made it as a joke. The fact that people keep trying to run with it is hilarious, because Dogecoin doesn't do anything.
I hope a nigga run with it.
Please
run with it, nigga.
If you look at actual cryptocurrencies that are legit, like XRP and stuff like that, they're actually backed by a company that actually does something, that creates a product or a service that they actually use. So, for instance, XRP does transactions, financial transactions between two countries. So XRP is a very popular cryptocurrency outside of Bitcoin, whereas Bitcoin just makes a blockchain that no one can really explain why or what it is or who created it. The Dogecoin it started off as a joke. Don't know if the creator got back into it or whatever the case may be, but everyone is rallying behind it, because it raised it from a percentage of a cent to now 10 cents, I think, or 11 cents as it was.
No, it's down to like 2
today.
right now.
It's 2 cents right now?
Yeah, it's 2 right now. So a lot of people are saying that they're putting in right now. So what I'm hoping is that dumb niggas just put all their paper in it, right? And then once, Robinhood lifts that wall that they have right now, a huge influx of people are going to put money into it.
It's never going to happen.
Look, shit gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. Here's why. Because Dogecoin is considered like it was a joke currency. You can continually inflate how many Dogecoins are available, which means that it's an unlimited supply of Dogecoins available. So as long as more people keep buying them, they're never gonna get to a point to where there's not enough Dogecoin. The reason why Bitcoin is so popular is because we know that there's a finite amount.
Look, I just think I should have hit $1,000. $1. If that shit hit $1, I'm bringing in like at least 2,000.
You're never gonna be able to trade that into Bitcoin and then trade that to get money back. I promise. Never gonna.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I beyond.
Well, that's kind of how I felt when you were talking about T.I. and Tiny. I'm like, what is this? But anyway.
So Shamar, school me on what's going on with these stocks and markets, because I'm just enjoying it because of all the fuck shit. I just live for
Well, basically all the new people that's coming in now, they're not really investing. They're just gambling.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
That's really what they're doing.
Yeah. The point to buy was early January, before everything popped off, or anytime before January. Shit, even if you bought in at $100 a share and now that's $300, you would have made a little bit of profit. But now, as it's $300, you're not going to be able to do it.
I'm mad my niggas didn't tell me about AMC earlier. All my niggas bought into AMC when it was like mad cheap. Now that shit like already $13.
Yeah.
Like, my niggas made thousands, multiple.
To be fair, if you track stocks on a regular basis, you would have saw the reports back in September that AMC was thinking about going bankrupt, to a point to where AMC was probably going to be the last one to the last movie thing, because Regal already shut down. The parent company that owns Regal already said
Regal really?
Yeah.
Regal's done for.
I'm so upset.
So everyone's been holding their breath
at
AMC, because they're like, all right, AMC any day now is going to go under.
Mm-hmm.
So, but AMC's $13 now. They're doing, the stock is doing fine. The company's still where it's at, because as far as I know, there's not many AMCs open around, even in our area right now. There's 3 theaters I can think of, and I think I only saw 1 open during this entire COVID rendition. So
I'm just glad I got friends who we all share that mentality. If one eats, we all eat, because I missed out on it, but they didn't. So
they say you're not their friend.
No, I'm saying that's fucked up. They ain't telling me about it, but I'm glad that we got the mentality that we all family and we all eat, because shit, I'm glad I don't got selfish friends. That's all.
Yeah.
Just help me, guys.
What stocks you in, Samar? What you buy into right now?
Shamar's gonna be a millionaire one day.
Right now, I mean, I don't really think nothing like popular that you might like know.
All right.
Let me see.
So I'll share, because I'm with I got a couple shares in GE. I have Siri and I have Sony.
What a fanboy.
I'm in a few.
Well, I use their
Wow.
products, so I figured
What a
they're not gonna go nowhere.
fanboy.
If I use your
He stood there
products,
with his
if
whole
I use
check.
your products and it's reasonably priced, I'm gonna buy your stock. Especially since Sony had an amazing year this year. They're down right now, but overall,
Yo, Microsoft is so down bad. I'm about to buy them, bro. Because
You know what?
if they make a comeback, that shit gonna be popping. If this Game Pass goes the way they want it to, especially because they just got Bethesda and they made them exclusive.
well, Microsoft used to be in a position to where they made all the computer products, they made all the software for it. Now it's to a point to where there's so many different companies providing the same service that they used to. I don't see it happening. I think they're leveling out, and that's where they're going
Bethesda's
to be.
their key. If the
They're
next
leveling
Elder
out, and
Scrolls,
that's where they're going to be, man.
nigga, Skyrim,
Bro,
Skyrim has been
Microsoft
re-released
is more
on
than just
every-
Xbox.
No, it is.
No, but
it
look,
is.
look,
but
look,
they
look.
don't have the same hold
But
in
I'm
the
saying-
computer world.
I'm saying Skyrim has been re-released on every single console or platform ever
So
since it came
what?
out.
So what?
If the niggas who made that drop another gem that's better than Skyrim,
It don't matter. It don't matter because,
Well-
like Shamar said, Microsoft is more than just computer games and all that other stuff. But Microsoft, at least in the '90s, when I first think of Microsoft, they used to make every single component inside a computer. That's not the case anymore. So it's not from hardware that they're getting their bread from. Their software you can get from anywhere, especially like peer-to-peer sites. So it's not software. What's left for them?
Bethesda, nigga.
No, they
right.
they are more or less a marketplace for you to buy things through them.
Yeah, an ecosystem. Yeah,
They-
that's their whole brand.
Yeah, but they're not producing cell phones. They're
All
not
I'm
doing all the other
saying-
shit that Apple's doing. They are more or less a Google at
All
this
I'm
point.
saying is that this shit is gonna be an Microsoft exclusive because they purchased the studio,
Mm-hmm.
and if this shit pop off the way Skyrim did or anywhere near it.
What you into, Shamar?
Ooh,
Tell me.
I don't-
Anyway, so, everyone that's supposed to know is, the move for the next few years is energy. So if you in some energy stocks, that's what you need to be into. And
This is not financial advice, by
marijuana
the way.
stocks. Oh, yeah. We are not financial advisors, so
They're
please
not,
don't take
yeah.
any of our
I'm a
advice.
finance
Yeah.
god. Do what I say.
I just want to
but
know.
them,
I
they
just want
regular
to know
niggas.
what he's in. That's all. So energy.
marijuana.
Uh huh.
I heard
about it.
marijuana.
Oh yeah, dispensaries popping.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But are more and more dispensaries going public? Because the ones that here's how I do it, right? I like Sony because I use all their products. Sony TV, Sony, I think we had Sony washers and dryers. Like I use Sony's products. So I was like, all right, I'm going to invest because Sony's more than just electronics and PlayStation 5s. Same thing with GE. GE is everything from hospitals, computers, the light bulbs that you use. They produce everything. So GE for me was a no-brainer. And in Siri, I took a gamble on. I liked it because of what it stands for.
What is Siri?
Siri is the XM radio. Is the satellite radio that Eminem owns a portion of.
Okay.
I like what Siri stands for because believe it or not, they've been doing like the format of podcast. They've been doing. You talk about 24/7 around the way radio stations. All they are is really podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And they expanded more and more into it. Their shares usually are around $3. Now they're at $6. So for me, it's like that was a no-brainer. But for the most part, like marijuana, I've been looking at marijuana companies. A lot of them are not black-owned. And for me, I told myself going forward that if I'm going to invest into a company, I want them to be either a part of every day of my life or be, giving back to the black community.
I thought the number one
I'm just
rule
trying
of
to make
money.
bread, so
Yeah,
I mean, because
the number one rule of money is no morals,
I'm
nigga.
different.
No
I'm different.
morals, nigga.
I'm different.
Money's the end of the day.
I'm different.
Sell your soul for
I'm
the paper,
different.
nigga.
I'm different.
Sell your
Look,
soul for the
I'm
paper,
different.
nigga.
I'm different.
look, here's the thing. Because after I make the money, it's gonna be black owned because I got it. Now, black owned.
A fact.
Nah, because
It's a
you
fact.
know what, man. I am by no means am I a moral character. I don't give a shit about it. But if I'm gonna put my because first off, I do believe that the stock market, Bitcoin, all that shit is a belief system. You have to believe in it in order for
believe
it
in
to
money.
happen. And then you have to be good at taking risk and shit like that. I'm none of those things. I don't believe that this shit is any different than me just putting money into a savings account. Granted, I know a lot of people are going to yell at me and say, no, there is a difference, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm going to spend my money on something that really at the end of the day could disappear tomorrow, then I'm going to make sure that it aligns with something that I can at least, trick myself into believing. Right? Again, to me, overall, the stock market is a belief system. You have to believe that stocks are going to go up and down in order and then buy into the
That's
fantasy
why
that you're going
Bitcoin
to get
goes up,
rich.
'cause people
Exactly.
think
People
it's gonna
So
be
for me,
the-
it's like, all right, I'm not just going to do that. That's not enough for me. But if I can support a company if I can support a company, they're either going to be involved in every day of my life, like GE or who's the other guy? Sony, or they're going to do something right for the community.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think when it comes to money, attaching something like that, attaching some type of belief or whatever to it is good, because a lot of people, what I noticed, and I read a lot of not interviews with millionaires, but you know how millionaires and billionaires, they drop those videos, the average day of a millionaire, shit like that.
Yeah,
it's basically the opposite about that. It's like what it really is to be a millionaire, and a lot of them, I realized that in a lot of their routines and a lot of the way they structured their lives is around like moral towers that they set up for themselves, because there's not shit behind this money.
Yeah.
Like these niggas will drop all of their beliefs and all their morals and everything for money.
Your dollars are not backed by gold or silver anymore.
Exactly. Let's be real.
Just the US dollar. It's a belief system.
Yeah, your money doesn't mean shit, and niggas will sell their whole life and grind their whole life for this money, and then they get it, or they either die trying or they get it and then realize, okay, I have nothing. Like I have all this money, but I have nothing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these rich people, they attach, their own beliefs or their own morals or their own rules or stuff like that to this money, for the simple fact is so they have something to believe in,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, so it just don't get lost in the sauce, man. Like money's great, money's cool, money, you need money to survive in America, but don't
be Victor, guys. You definitely need money. Victor's
don't get lost in the sauce, bro.
So energy and cannabis, right?
Yeah, for right now.
Well, I got something in GE, so GE's
crack.
Good.
Pre-show content. The movie starts at 8. You guys are cutting into my Wendy Williams with Let me see.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah, it's not time to go yet, Shauna.
It's not.
Williams
do you have another topic for our bait news? Because we can get right into the niche.
No, go ahead. Go into the niche.
You ain't got nothing else?
No.
How do you say that word? Because I hear people say niche.
Niche.
That
yeah,
sounds
whatever.
awful. I like
niche.
Yeah, let's do niche.
The niche.
Niche sounds terrible.
Yeah. So I've been dealing with myself trying to figure out what makes me happy. A lot of my life I spent trying to make other people happy, thinking that makes me happy. But now I'm at an age to where people around me are happy, but for me I'm just like eh. And I realized something about myself, that I need that instant gratification to shit. Like I'm a microwave baby. I want shit done as soon as that shit beeps. I want it done.
I'm not
right.
That way.
And for me, the podcast has been fun. Gaming is fun. Things are fun for me, but it doesn't give me any kind of gratification, because at the end of the day, why am I really doing it? Why did I decide to start a podcast? Because I wanted to be heard one way or the other. And 5 views are cute, but that's just not enough for me. You know what I'm saying? And,
First of all,
I've been struggling
you're not
with
disrespecting our 5 fans out there.
No, I'm not.
I love you.
But I feel like the 5 is just us in this room right now. But
High key. You're rewatching that shit.
It's not even
either
us.
way. What I'm saying is that I did this because I wanted to be heard. I had to go. It wasn't just to be rich or just be the most popular podcast, but I wanted to be heard. And the fact that it hasn't instantly happened, it bothers me. And I've been really trying to get away from that, because I know that there's nothing else in my life just happen overnight.
If you try to do something like in tech, like what we're doing right now, a lot of times it takes a year at a minimum, and then it takes
5 to 7 years plus.
A perfectly planned video. It takes getting picked up in the algorithm, and nobody knows like when is it, like, you know what I mean?
Listen, you're not saying anything I don't know. My thing for me personally has been that I like instant gratification, and it's funny because nowhere else in my life have I had instant gratification ever. So I don't know where
you want it.
Well, I don't know where this mentality come from. I mean, like my position at my full-time job right now, I've worked to get there. I've been in this field for 11 years now. So it didn't just happen overnight. I understand the grind behind it. I don't know. I don't know why I need instant gratification.
You want what you can't have, bro.
Oh,
you never had it, so you want it.
I want that I don't have that
Listen.
Don't make me feel like this. Okay.
So I guess this was like stemming from a conversation that we had, because there's a few things that I can't relate sometimes to you when we're talking, right? Because you're like, oh man, I need to find something that gives me, makes me happy. Where I'm a little bit opposite. I'm usually a fairly happy person most of the time. when things affect me, when things happen, I have to change what I'm doing to respond to something that's going on. That can change my mood. That can, make a difference in how I feel. But just like on a random, regular, sitting down watching TV, I'm usually like a happy little pig and shit. I don't know why. Like, I'm not upset most of the time. I do have anxiety. I do have bouts of depression. But like just being by myself. Like, if I just went to the room and, like, he'll see me playing my game, I am truly happy. So I can't relate sometimes, and I find it so difficult to understand when somebody says, I'm unhappy. Because for me, I don't understand it. Because I'm like happy most of the time.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why they call it mental health, because I don't have an explanation for it. I just know that overall, I can have, this week has been nothing but a positive week for me. In terms of work. Like, I had a gruesome project that's been the vein of my existence all month, and it finally came to fruition, and things have been going relatively well. There's been more solutions than there have been problems, and things have been taken care of. It's been overall a good week. That doesn't change the fact that when I think about the other things that I'm doing, and I'm not seeing as much success as I like, my personal success in it, it doesn't make me happy. I'm not happy about it.
Now I have a question. Do you ever think, because like I know that I think sometimes, especially because I just consume so much media, that I've seen something proposed often. A success is great, and seeing it quickly is even better. But success comes with a certain level of responsibility that I feel like a lot of the times just regular everyday people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The time that you dedicate to working full time, the time that you dedicate to parenting, the time that you dedicate to making your home a livable space, you do not have the time, knock on wood, because I want to be very successful, to be successful. Now, what if the podcast got jumping, right? Let's like play a hypothetical out. Got so jumping, got so many views. With those views comes more money. With ad sponsors, but all of that is a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Rite Aid doesn't run itself.
Mm-hmm.
Rite Aid is compartmentalized, and the only part that you see is the buying and selling, or whatever the case may be, right? But there's a whole like legal representation and making money and paying your taxes, having sponsorships. Those contracts don't read themselves.
Oh yeah, no, I'm getting sued actually. Well, no, I'm not getting sued, but I was a manager on SIF when this lady trying to sue us.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But like, so that's what I mean. Like, there's success is not just for me. That's why I'm like I'm measured in my, oh my God, I want this right now. Because do I have the 24-hour period to not just like bask in my success, but to vet people that are trustworthy to be a part of my team, and to do it rather quickly, right? Mm-hmm. The advantage of coming up slowly or having a startup and slowly building up is that you don't have people that you're sifting through. This person that's doing your logo fucks with you because you knew them before you had money. Everyone, when you get to the top, is trying to steal from you, and then you have even less time to respond.
That's assuming that my success, that what I think is successful includes that level of success. But to me, again, I just want to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The money, the ads, all that other shit, that can come second, because like I said, I'm comfortable with doing what I'm doing right now. Mm-hmm. I have always felt like I have some pretty good ideas, and I have a pretty decent, handle on this thing called life, and I would like to share my experiences with it. This was that vehicle for it. Again, you're right. Success sometimes does bring all that shit, but I would totally be happy with 1,000 views per episode, and
I get it. I feel like it. Cautious to just understanding that 1,000 views, yes, it's 1,000 views, and that's relatively small, right? Controlled. But that's still 1,000 views. And now where you see people that started off as a love project, and now they're like a slave to their own ideas, and they hate it, and like they want to leave. These are people that started off wanting to be heard, started off having good ideas, started off with the best of intentions, but there's a great responsibility on the head of a successful person.
I think that's mindset, because I see a lot of people say that they a lot of people who have turned their hobbies into their jobs say that they regret it a lot. But then I see a lot of people who have turned their hobbies into jobs say that they still love it because they haven't lost sight of why they started and why they love it.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
I think
that's
it's
the
mindset.
key.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know. Like the fact that we didn't record all week bugged me because like all I wanted to do was record this week, but everyone's busy. Like this week was busy for everyone.
I was also slowly dying of sleep exhaustion.
So
Me too. I got like 3 hours of sleep this whole week.
like
Man.
I think I fall in that second category where people just love to do this. Like I love doing this shit. Now it again, because I want instant gratification, it doesn't help if the same 5 people keep watching it. And again, I appreciate the 5 views, but I want to get outside of my immediate circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So-
No, as you should. And it's like I've held off on having or paying for or not even paying for shout outs, but that's like part of having a small business is like, making sure you figure out how you want to market yourself. But at the same time, I am really like into just being really, really happy where I'm at, because even it's like, and I think the military taught me that, and gaining rank in the military taught me that it's cool. It's cool until you gotta watch somebody pee. Like you know what I'm saying? I know you guys don't
I
get
was in middle school. I've done that. What are you talking about? You ever been in locker rooms?
No.
You watching people pee?
They used to watch us pee, bro.
Listen.
We used to do it to each other. We used to break down the stall and people were in there just to laugh at them.
No,
y'all
but
are
like
sick.
y'all are gross.
Y'all are
But
sick.
that's
Y'all
what I
never been in
mean.
a locker room?
What she's
Oh.
talking about is actually making sure that people don't be trying to switch out their pee for a drug test.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what you mean.
But,
Wow.
but
But
the fact
I was-
that you
but
were
I
in middle
was
school watching people
correlating-
pee, don't do that, kids.
Watching people pee,
do not
getting
do
watch
that.
pee.
That's
You never been in a
guys-
boys' locker room?
That's
Yeah, I have, and
We was
we've
going
never done
crazy.
that.
Shamar, do you watch
Never
people
done
pee?
that.
Have Shamar be the deal breaker. Have you watched somebody pee?
No.
Wait,
No.
He said it too slow.
This nigga lied.
He said
Think about
it
it.
too
I was
slow.
just-
Think about it. Yo,
Hell no.
Yo,
Hell
I've-
no.
I've
Shamar
been-
definitely
listen,
watched
I've-
people pee.
I've been in organized sports since middle school, and we've had to change in front of each other forever. I've never
never
watched
got the
anyone
stall
else
kicked in
pee.
on you?
Never.
But
We
you
would
know
have
what
to
it is,
fight.
though?
What do you mean by what's like literally? Are
You
you
ever seen a
standing?
nigga pee?
Are you standing next to them? Or are you standing in front of them? Behind
Yo, he's a
them?
meat gazer.
Bro.
He's a meat. That's what
Somebody
we call
would go
it.
He's
into
a
the
meat
stall.
gazer.
Look. Somebody would go into the stall, right? And we would wait to hear them start
Oh
peeing.
my
And then 4 of
God.
us would go and kick that shit down and be like, oh, this nigga peeing. And it was stupid, but we were like 14. Like, what do you want us to do?
I was 14
No,
too.
that
I've
was
never done
that's
that.
also
Y'all niggas was
I've
lame.
never done
very
That was lame.
bizarre. But I was also still the 19-year-old girl, and remember how like at camp. Okay, so there's this terrible place in Florida that they take you to do all your annual trainings at, and like we used to play something called battle shits. So everybody has to poop at the same time of the night, and everybody's showering also at the same time of the night. So sometimes it gets like eerily quiet,
Y'all are gross too for this. Like, I already know
Yeah.
where this is going.
and
Y'all
you
are
like
gross.
you race to poop, but sometimes it's like you have to kind of know, because in order to win the battle shits, it had like it's really complicated. It's also very
They
disgusting.
used
Don't
to
do
measure
that.
the splash of the shit that goes into the toilet.
Yeah.
And then whoever had the biggest shit would win
Would
because
win.
you sunk everyone else's battleship. They're
Yeah,
fucking disgusting.
I know, and it was girls too. It was a fun time.
Disgusting.
Okay,
Wild
you have
times.
no right to say anything about what I did, because
No,
that,
that-
shit
that-
is on another level.
Listen,
Wild-
All we did was make
wild-
fun of someone
I
peeing.
never done that. all right?
Wild times.
Listen, I have never been in a position where
Wild
something
times.
traumatic like that has happened. Because listen, someone kicking the
Traumatic? That
door.
shit was fun.
Yeah, someone kick. Listen, if I'm peeing, you know how I am when I'm in the bathroom now. If someone was to kick in the door while I'm peeing, 1, I'm gonna piss all over you, and 2, we're gonna fight and piss after that.
We
because we're
did.
fighting.
We
are
pissed on
fighting.
each other too, bro. We was wild in the locker room.
Yo,
God, y'all are
okay.
We would fight.
Y'all are
We
sick.
would
R. Kelly
dance. We
Jr.'s.
would make
Y'all are
songs.
sick.
We would pee. We would fight in the showers. Oh, that was the
This
locker
is
room.
why we need to have an educated conversation about sex.
No,
because this shit
'cause
is
they
ridiculous.
Nothing about it was sexual. We was just niggas.
They
Listen.
was having sexual relations.
Listen, there's no way you're gonna tell
Those
me.
children-
Listen,
Bro,
peace
those
involved is
children
automatically
were-
sexual.
had
That's,
open
that's exactly what that's
sexualities.
exactly what innocence is.
They-
There's nothing
Nah.
sexual.
Nah.
It was just, oh, this nigga
Pee-
peeing. That's
nah,
weird.
That's-
peace involved. It's or
So you think we was doing piss play?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
the
he knows what
play.
it's called.
Yeah, he does.
Wow,
That's the
we're
form of piss
looking
play.
at you right now.
Shamar,
Shamar's like
what makes you
interestingly
happy?
tugging his beard,
What-
like,
what
oh,
makes
this
you
is
happy,
what it's
Shamar?
called. It's called pissing.
Like money.
Okay.
This nigga
So-
gonna
so
be miserable.
Are
when he
you?
older.
Are you?
This nigga gonna be so sad, bro. This nigga gonna have millions just crying on the couch, bro. This nigga.
So,
what you
so
mean?
are you an instant gratification baby, or do you understand that things?
I don't think this
come
nigga
with-
knows the term gratification, bro.
Listen. So I always gotta relate stuff to how my life or how I see it. So
Uh-huh.
definitely, because when I started getting into stocks back in June, right? My friend was telling me about it. I didn't understand it, and the way he was explaining it is like if you do these things called options, like you, it's a cap on how much you could lose, but your gains are just always like it's basically infinite, right? So I started doing it, and I was doing it, and at the time I wasn't working, so I was doing it off of maybe like the $30-$50 that they gave me to kind of play with it. So at the time I was like, it wasn't going good, right? It wasn't until maybe about a month and a half ago where I was like, okay, instead of doing these options, let me just buy the actual stock, just let it sit there and watch it grow, basically. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until then where I was like, okay, even though I want this money to like come in fast, like it's probably gonna take many years, and now I'm fine with that.
Okay. And now you're in. Okay, so you've learned.
So you've learned to bypass the instant gratification stage.
Boo! I don't like instant gratification.
Yeah, that shit is whack. Nah, I ain't gonna count.
That's what a broke person would say. Hey, I think Warren Buffett would be like,
the fact that you think calling me broke is an insult is fucking wild. Cause that shit don't hurt me, bro. Like I've detached from money so much, bro. Like I've seen what that shit does. I've seen how many suicides that shit causes. I see how fucked up people get over money. I see the fucked up things people do for money. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not attaching myself to that shit. That shit is wild to me, bro.
Okay, Victor. So let's in 1 year you please give me all of your money.
I'll give you a good amount of it because I'm going off the mat. Niggas think I'm joking. I'm going ghost. Niggas think I'm joking, bro. I'm going ghost. I'm going ghost.
Man plays 23.5 hours of video games. Like, so.
What? He should Twitch all
of it. I got a PS5. I better.
He should Twitch all of it because they are hilarious.
We did a UFC tournament. We live streamed it. That shit was funny.
Did you really?
Yeah, we streamed it. I think Kobe, like 3 of my niggas streamed it. It was funny.
That is funny. Cause y'all are funny. Y'all wasting talent. Y'all can get mad followers doing that shit.
I also. Do you want to go into the weekly rant since everybody kind of answered the question?
Well, no, we got Stims and Seds too. Oh, because I got a lot of Stims and Seds. I got a lot of stems this week. Because like I said, it was a good week. It wasn't like a bad week. It was a good week.
I hate
Me
stems
too.
and Seds.
I got a lot of yeah. I'll let them go first because I think we got a lot to say.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. It's just gonna be the same every
week.
This
exhilarating.
Get out of the way.
Well, tell us how many beats you made this week, man.
Exactly, nigga.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that. So anyway,
so it's a set.
Portfolio looked good this week. That's a stem.
Okay.
Said. Gotta go to work every day. That's about it.
Facts.
You don't enjoy your job?
I mean, it's just it gives me money, but I'm kind of just grinding through it now until I'm at a point where I could just move on from working 9 to 5.
So is that a set or a stem?
Yeah, a set right now. Living in it.
Because you're doing it, but like you got like a vision.
You guys are so annoying. Both.
Well,
whack.
I got a vision, but it's really blurry. But I'm kind of just one step.
You just want to be rich, huh?
I concur.
So what happens when you get rich? What happens when you get rich?
Do what I do now.
That's fucking terrible. Okay.
I don't really have a stem.
This is all Seds.
That's a lie. You saw me today, so you got a stem. You got a stem, Shauna. Come on.
It's crazy. Wow. No, like I don't really have. This week was just long. I don't really have anything. That
nothing? Like a TV show you like? Nothing?
And it was pay week too, man. Like that's not sad. You don't think
well, I mean, like, yeah, that's great, but like rent is due, so there's that. Yeah. No. So and then what is it? Stem and then a sed.
Sed, yeah. So no stems. What's your seds? What's going on?
I don't know. Like life, bitch. Like
it's just kind of like a mad week, huh?
Yes, it's been a long week, and then I'm like in a battle with myself because I really want to rest, but resting makes me so unproductive. So I'm going through like this inner battle. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
Okay.
But I mean, I do have a what is it, stem? Mm-hmm. I've seen like a real change with the medicine, like a real change.
Good.
Like focus wise and stuff like that. So. Also, I haven't cried like I don't know how many days in consecutive now, but
you're good at hiding because I never see you cry. I didn't know you could shed tears.
I don't cry. I don't cry.
You're doing a good job at hiding it. If you cried, I think I would
people.
cry just off reaction.
I don't cry in front of people. I'm not.
I'm
really
telling you,
crying.
if I see you cry one day, I'm gonna cry just for no reason. So don't cry in front of me, please.
I'm not a crier. I don't really do that.
If it makes you feel a bit, I haven't had to screen my truck in about a month, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still haven't tried that, but also on medication, so I'm on drugs, so I don't think I could do that.
Sometimes when I get too frustrated, I just park my car wherever I'm at, and I just scream inside of it into the abyss. I got the noise canceling set up so you can't hear it from the outside, so it just looks like I'm listening to rock.
Nah, hell no. There's definitely people calling the non-emergency line saying there's somebody outside in an F-150.
There's a black man
he's
screaming. No,
I haven't had to do that in a few months.
I never understood that. People who like do things to like let out their emotions. Like I mean, I guess I have a problem with showing my emotions because I have no idea how the hell to process emotions through ways
coping
like
mechanisms suck.
Yeah, I don't know. I just even punching the air don't work. I'll be punching the air. I'm like, damn, that ain't do nothing.
Yeah,
Now I'm more mad.
Punching the air.
Like
Fuck up
nothing.
your elbow hitting the air.
Yeah, exactly. I just get more mad.
Throwing
right?
a punch too hard. Gonna fuck up your elbow.
So that's it. That's it for me.
What's your stem and said, Vic?
Man, my stems is that finally had a very daunting task that we've been preparing for months. Basically, the higher ups came and inspect everything to make sure we're not stealing shit, and it went well. Pharmaceutical regional manager came through. She said everything was fire. I was like, bet. Retail regional came through, said that shit was fire. I said, bet. It was great, especially because it's my third going on fourth month at this job, and that task that I was given, I basically did off of the strength of like me and a few other associates. Our managers weren't really available, so I was basically the one doing it, and it was tough, but we did it.
Good shit.
So that was good. Seds. I've been reading a lot about this it's a religion. It's not a popular religion, but it's a very low key religion. But a lot of it is based in nihilism, which is basically just like nothing matters. We're in the void anyway.
Ooh, that sounds. Ooh.
And I've been realizing how dangerous my current beliefs align with it. So I'm kind of trying to reevaluate myself and kind of convince myself that things do matter. So that's been my said, because that's been
For the sake of all of us, please.
That's the reason why I'm not fucking sleeping. So that's my
Sleep is
said.
a construct of imagination.
Exactly. Well, I sleep anyway. Nah, so that's been a battle, but I think that's a part of growth and everything. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's my stems and says. I think work is going great. I'm happy at work. I actually like my job.
That's good. Same.
Yeah, I like my job. I'm also power tripping at my job, but nobody really knows.
Why are you doing that?
It's my first time as a manager, man.
Man, don't do that.
I ain't never been a big dog before.
Nah, don't do
I've been
that.
power tripping, bro.
Don't do that.
But everyone thinks of me as like that one cool manager. So I'm trying to keep it like that. I want to be a bitch. So.
All right. So my stem is that like I can see myself off the screen right here, and I feel like I look kind of cute. So that's a stem right there. My second stem is the silhouette challenge this week, because the silhouette challenge this week. That song is fire. You know what? One thing I gotta say. I've never been a Doja Cat fan. First off, it's not that I don't like Doja Cat. I just never heard of her music. I just thought it was just music that's out there that wasn't meant for me. But after hearing her Street song, which is used for the Silhouette Challenge, they take that, they mix this old-timey song, Put Your Head on My Shoulders, and then it goes right into Streets by Doja Cat. And let me tell you, Doja Cat's song is dope. That song is dope. It made me listen to her other songs, and I gotta admit, she is talented.
Very.
She is very talented, and I am a fan. But and then my third stem, which is really should be my first stem, because it's overall like it's last but it's not least in no way, shape, or form. It's more or less it's the base of the pyramid of my stems. Chloe Bailey.
Who's that?
She fine as shit.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna leave it at that. The fact that you don't know her yet, you need to go Google it. But Chloe Bailey, I'm gonna leave that there. The real ones know. The real ones know.
I feel like the real ones don't.
I guess I'm not a real one.
No, they should. They should know. My seds. You know what? Like I said, this week was a good week. I don't have a sed. My unhappiness is purely my own thing that I'm dealing with. I really don't have anything that's bad this week. I guess the one thing you could say is that yesterday my back and my shoulder was killing me from the shot, but today it's like I can't even tell. Like nothing hurts today. Today was a good day. I even went food shopping today. How about that?
That's always a plus.
When we can eat, that's always a plus.
No, because when I was staying with my dog in Florida, that was the first time we didn't really have an adult to shop for us. It's our first time living, because you know his grandmother pulled up on the weekends, but she only pulled up and bitched at us and left. So we still kind of had to fend for ourselves. So it was like,
That's different when you got to feed yourself.
that shit is wild.
Yeah.
I was like, well, niggas do this? Niggas feed
Please
themselves?
start.
I was like,
Both
that shit
of
is
you.
whack.
Feel free at any time to start.
I'm starving to lose some weight, bro.
Wait, but that,
It's crazy. That shit wild.
but that's what made me laugh. Because Victor the other day was like, "Yo, what's for dinner?" Like, what do you mean, what's for
Bro,
dinner?
I walked out, I was like, yo, what's for- I had
let's get
my
some
credit card, I was like,
Applebee's.
what we
dude,
about
you
to
can
order?
order Applebee's on your own.
No,
He goes,
but then,
"Nah,
like,
man,
that's what throws me
I
off.
thought it was
right?
a group thing, though. I thought every time we do Applebee's is a group. I had my card
a
ready. I
group thing?
was like,
No,
let's do it.
but like, okay,
Man,
so
all I
like
ate was
they're
oodles and
so
noodles last
open
night.
to like they're so open to like giving us stuff, or like, oh, like, yeah, you can do this and like I'll pay for it on my card. But I'm just like, you guys could also take care of yourself. Like feel free.
If you want it, order it, man. Order it. I just didn't want Applebee's. The only thing I would ever get from Applebee's right now is just a cake, and I can't fill myself up on cake right now.
Man,
So-
I could.
But that's why I didn't order anything. I just had oodles and noodles last night, and I was feeling like shit yesterday because of the shot. But
I guess I could add a stim. I
What's
turned into a professional chef this week, so yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. You made some chicken this week. That's right.
what
A
the
whole
hell?
chicken. He made some whole chicken and then
That's
ate all of it.
Good. Yeah.
No, there's still some left. I got a couple sandwiches to make out of that.
And he's smart with it. I'm not gonna cap. He's smart with it.
Man, listen. All he do is ask Shada. You could ask somebody too, or read a cookbook or something.
I'm just order shit.
I got 3
Or just
cookbooks
ask me.
right here.
You know, I'll give you
I'm
a
definitely
recipe.
just gonna order shit.
You just go order shit.
Order shit now.
I did feel bad because I taught Shabo how to cook spaghetti, and then he had to eat spaghetti for like 3 months. I was
Man,
like,
that's
That boy
his
made a
choice.
big
That
ass
was
pot
his
and stretched that pot. That's
Man, that
I'm
was
like,
his choice.
Yo,
That was his choice.
I'm like, yo, it doesn't have to be this way.
No, the thing is, I can cook like that. I don't know why they don't let me cook for them, because they think I
Bruh,
can't cook.
because you
I
cannot
no,
cook.
I can
Making
actually
PB and
cook.
jelly sandwiches on toast is not
See how they
not
disrespect me? See how they disrespect me?
It's
I
not
get no
food,
respect.
man.
Look,
Wow.
I can actually whip up something, but
Whip
niggas
up
don't want to give me the
who?
chance, bro.
Whom,
It
where?
is what it is, though.
I
It is what it
can
is.
actually whip up something in that Brita filter.
Look, they say the same thing, LeBron, bro. But look what happened.
Oh,
It is what it is, man.
I know you're not comparing yourself to LeBron.
I basically am.
Don't do that.
LeBron James
Don't
in the
do
kitchen,
that.
nigga. Look,
No, don't do that.
look, first time you eat my food, you gonna be like, shit, nigga, my bad. I'm gonna just look at you. I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay.
This is right
That's
after
how
we get
we
salmonella poisoning.
Right after my asshole is on
crazy.
fire. Just
That's crazy.
Immediately after my
The
asshole is on
disrespect.
fire.
That's
The
crazy.
disrespect. All right. You got a rant, Shauna?
For the week?
Yeah. You got a rant of the week?
Oh, I think I might.
Ooh. Wait, did any of y'all got a rant of the week? What's been grinding your gears all week?
No.
I don't think so.
I just wake up and do the same thing
Right.
every day.
Take it away, Shauna.
It's about to be shots fired.
Ooh, I hope.
All right. Yo, motherfucking grandma. Okay. I have a fundamental issue with people that want you to live their life. Let me explain. I am the type of person that all these motherfuckers can attest to it, I don't bother people. If I want to do something, what do? I do it. If I want to go somewhere, I get up and I walk out of the house.
I don't like that. I be wanting to go too.
But I can be a loner, right? But because I am the way that I am, I don't like when people suggest things to me, and I hate, I despise when people say that they don't do things because of something that directly came from me. So, I couldn't do this because you weren't here for me. Or, I wasn't able to get this done because you didn't tell me this information. When everybody's walking around with a highly capable computer in their hands.
Mm-hmm. Cell phones is what she's talking about.
Especially something like...
I need, it's just, it's upsetting. And I feel like that's all I got to say about that. Be courteous of others. Because I don't know how courteous I am, because I can be very loud. I think I'm a loud person in general. But I don't hold people hostage to do the things that I want to do. As a matter of fact, I'm hypersensitive to that. I hate it here. I fucking hate it here.
And this rant of the week is brought to you by Brashana.
I'm going to do a little bit further research.
I'm telling you. I just showed Vic Chloe Bailey, and that's all I'm going to leave it at.
She's on a TV show I watch. She's bad.
Yeah, you're talking about
she is
Grownish.
Grownish, yeah. She is on there. All right. That's it?
I hate it here.
What are we going to name this episode?
You said it at the very beginning.
I don't know. I'll watch it back on playthrough.
How do you
Yeah.
spell her name?
Huh?
How do you spell her name?
Chloe Bailey.
How you spell Chloe?
CHLOE.
Okay, there.
I found
I
it.
think that's the only way to spell Chloe.
I feel like it's not. I feel like, and I don't. First of
if
all,
anything-
I'm like,
if anything-
I'm
Laura
okay.
and Vic be taking shots at each other all the time.
I'm okay. So, like, the last thing I gotta say is that, like, I'm okay with saying things about them, like, mean things about each and every, like, both of them, but I don't like it when they say it to each other.
Why not?
I don't know. It just
You would
be
hate our
making me.
conversations.
The
All we
other
do
night,
is shit talk.
It makes me
y'all were
feel
going back
away.
and forth, and I was dying.
It does. It makes me feel away.
Like literally, every time we speak, like for instance, I'll come home from work, not speak to him for a whole hour, and then the first thing I say would just be us butting heads, and then just start.
And no, or I'll be in there so peaceful, just playing the game. I'll be listening to me. He come in, what's up, bitch ass nigga? I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, all right.
It just makes me so upset because, like, I don't know, like, when you're not around,
I
I'm
be
like, you will
laughing.
not be disrespecting Victor. Okay, I don't like it. Then when Victor says something about Shamar, I'll be like, you never gonna talk about my motherfucking brother like that in your life. You gonna fix your fucking
I'll
face.
be laughing.
I
That should be
don't
having
know.
me
It makes me-
dying.
I don't
And then you were
like it.
playing you were in there Friday playing the game. I was laughing the entire
Our mom
time.
calls me and I'm like, they're in the room screaming at each other. My mom's like, they're not screaming at each other.
I was like, they're having fun. They're
I heard
roasting.
them.
I was like,
They're
they're roasting. They
screaming
don't
at
scream.
each
They
other.
roast.
She's like,
It would just be
"No,
chilling."
no, no,
I'd be
no,
I'd be
no."
dying. I'd be laughing.
I don't find it funny, but okay, cool. Cool beans, y'all.
All right.
Toodles. What the fuck is this?
But on that note, are we doing hot dogs?